Hello, Odooers. For this business flow, we'll discover how Cozy Home manages its furniture store. They sell upscale furniture and home accessories from sofas and coffee tables for the living room to beds and nightstands for the bedroom. They have a showroom in San Francisco, but don't keep much in stock. Most of their products are only purchased from their suppliers when the items are sold. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before selling anything, marketing comes into play. The role of the marketing department is to generate leads for the sales team. There are different ways of doing that, so let's start with the main one by building a website for Cozy Home. So I'm going to jump to Odoo, go directly to the website application, and then the front end of the website by clicking on Go to Website. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually switch my theme. So I'm going to click on the Edit button. Now, I chose a theme when I first created my database, but I want a different theme. So I'm going to click on Options now. And then I will scroll to the very bottom and click on Switch Theme. Okay, so then we'll have a lot of theme options to choose from. All right, we have a lot of beautiful options, and we can even have a live preview of the theme, but I'm going to use Loft Space. So I'm going to click on Use this theme. Now, having a modern website is a must to attract customers nowadays. And as you're going to see, designing one will only take a few minutes with the website app. All right, so my theme has been applied and I'm now redirected to the website application. So let's start building Cozy Home's website with a simple drag and drop of a few of these building blocks. All right, so since I switched themes, it's going to direct me right away to the edit mode. And then I'll have a lot of options to choose from for my structure. So I'm first going to drag and drop a cover. All right, now I'm going to add my building blocks before I change the content because I want to get an idea of what the structure will look like first. All right, and then let's add some columns below that. All right, and we have a lot of options. I think below that, we're also going to choose some quotes. All right, cool. So now that I have added some of these building blocks, let's go ahead and change the content. So I'm going to start again with the cover. So let's change this. What do I want to say? That's the question. I will say, awaken your inner home designer. Okay, great. And then I'm also going to edit my subtitle as well. So let's say we hand pick furniture from leading designer brands. And I'm also going to change this button and I'm going to say discover our brands. All right, I can even link this button to another page that I'll create later on so that when my visitors click on that button, they'll be redirected to the page where they can discover our brands, but I won't do that for now. All right, so let's look at our style options on the right. So I'm going to click on background here. And I'm going to see some color combinations that I can choose from. Now, of course, the background is an image, so the color of the image is not going to change, but I want to see some color combinations for the text that I have on this cover. All right, so all I have to do is hover over the different combinations and then I will see what they look like. So I don't have to manually apply the combination in order to check it out. I simply have to hover, which is really nice. And then I can get an idea of what I like best. So I think I like this one. So I'm just going to select it. And just like that, it's been applied. And of course, I do have some custom options as well, but I like the combinations that are already laid out for me. Okay, and then you can change some other things here as well. But let's move on to our next building block. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start changing the pictures that we're gonna see here. So to add a picture, either to add a picture I already uploaded or another item, I can just simply double click. All right, and then I can go ahead and select an image that I uploaded, or there's also a database of royalty-free images that can be used as well. So you just have to search for specific keywords. So let's say furniture, for example, and search. And then it's going to load many photo options that I see here. So I can choose through a bunch of different images that look really great. And if I just want to see the images that I've uploaded, I just have to remove the search and then I'll go back to my images. So I'm going to start applying these actually. So we've added one. Again, we're going to double click, add another, and my last image as well. I'm very proud of my images, or very proud of Cozy Home's images. All right, so that looks good. And then I'll add the rest of the content later. All right, so then we have our quotes, and here we will add quotes from customers, but as they don't currently have any customers, I'm actually going to remove this, and it's very easy. I just need to select, and then I'll click on the trash bin icon on the right. All right, but I will replace that block with another one. So in fact, I'm going to replace it with a text block, and this is where they will later add a short story about their history and values, which is actually kind of important. So let's move that above our column. So I'm simply going to click on this little arrow. Now you'll notice if it's at the top or the bottom, you will of course only see the arrow in one direction, but as it's between two other blocks here, I have both up and down arrows. All right, so that's really easy. I can also change the size just like that. All right, so that looks really good. Again, I'm going to add more content later, but what's important to do now is to click on Save. Now, Cozy Home will start to get visitors, and they don't just want people visiting the homepage, but they also want to turn these visitors into leads or opportunities for the sales team. So to do that, we're going to create a basic call to action page. So I'm going to click on New right here. And before I do that, I do just want to point out how fast it was to create that homepage, and I don't have any designing skills, so it's so easy and convenient. All right, so let's create a new page. I'm going to click on plus, and I'm going to add a page, and let's call this free shipping. All right, I can say if I would like it to appear on the menu or not, and I would, so I'm going to click on continue. All right, so it's going to redirect me to that new page right away. And we're going to add some blocks again. So the first block we're going to add is going to be a title. And here I will say, register and get free shipping on your first order. All right. And then we have some options again, some style options, and I actually want to change the height. And once again, I just have to hover to see what my options are here. I don't have to click, I just have to hover, which is really cool. And I'm going to go with auto. All right, nice. And then I'm going to jump back to my blocks. All right, and now what I'm going to do is actually add and tailor a form that visitors will need to fill out in order to benefit from this promotion. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to drag and drop the form block. All right, cool. It's added just like that. So let's go ahead and select and start changing some things. So the first thing that I want to change is actually the action that will happen when the visitor presses the submit button. So Cozy Home wants to have the form feed all the information to the CRM application and create an opportunity. Now that's way more efficient than receiving the information by email and manually entering everything, because right now we have the action set as send an email. So I'm going to change this and put create an opportunity. All right, so now that I've done that, I'm going to modify the form a little bit. So I'm going to select some fields, and I'm actually going to change the size of some of these fields. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to do the same with the phone number. So I want these guys to be next to each other. And I'm going to do the same with these fields right here as well. And the company. All right, so that looks much better already. Now we're going to see is that some of these fields are mandatory because some of them have asterisks, like your company. So what I want to do is actually make sure that that's not required. So I'm going to come down here in my field options, and I'm going to uncheck required. All right, so that looks good for now. Something I forgot to do when I was changing the action of the form, which is also very important, at least for Cozy Homes, is to specify a sales team and a salesperson. So while I'm over here, I'm just going to go to the top and click on America for the sales team and Amy Caroline for the salesperson, because she's the person that handles all the opportunities that are created from this form. All right, so now that I've done that, again, it's all in the details. We don't want to miss anything. I'm going to go back to my fields. All right, I'm going to edit the text. I'm going to edit the label name here. All right, so instead of subject, that's a little bit boring. I'm going to say, what are you interested in? Or what are you looking for? All right, and then of course you can see what that looks like on the left. which is really nice. And I'm also going to change the question as well. So I don't want this to be a text field at all. In fact, I want them to choose and be able to select different tags. So I'm going to scroll down. So I'm changing the type of the field, and I'm going to click on tags. All right. And I see I have a typo on one of my tags, which I can change later in the CRM application. All right. So this form looks pretty good for now. So let's save this, and we're going to fill in the form to create a business opportunity directly in Cozy Homes CRM. So let's first add a name. I'll say Jackson. We're going to add a phone number, email. All right. Again, I made the your company field not mandatory. It's not required. So we're going to skip over that. And what am I looking for? What is Jackson looking for? Let's say a new bedroom. And then he's going to go ahead and select some of the options that are related to that. So let's put mattress, wardrobe, beds. We can even put, let's say, drawers, decorations. And then we're going to click on submit. All right. And just like that, the information is going to go to the CRM application. So this is the role of the marketing department. They generate leads or business opportunities for the salespeople, and then the sales team will take over and try to convert them into real sales. So now let's go back to Odoo and open the CRM application. All right, and we see a lovely thank you page where we're going to jump to CRM. Okay, and then under the new section, right here, we're going to see the opportunity that we just generated from that form. All right, so I have a new bedroom. And from here, the sales team is actually going to try to qualify this opportunity. So they will either call them or email the person, for example. And once it's qualified, we can actually move the stage, and we can do so simply by dragging and dropping just like that. All right, but let's put it back for now since we haven't qualified just yet. And then after the person is qualified, we're going to make an offer. So we can move it to the proposition stage. And once that offer is accepted, we can then move the opportunity to one. But let's start from the beginning. So I'm going to click on this opportunity that was generated, and I'm going to click on edit. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually change the expected revenue to $3,000. So that is the average price of the bedrooms that Cozy Homes sells. All right, so let's save that for now. And something that's really cool on this opportunity is that we can actually check the pages that were viewed by the customer by clicking on this smart button right here. So that's really nice because we can even see what items they're interested in or what items they've been looking at, which is really cool. So we can find out a lot about this person that way. All right, so what we really want to do, though, is send a message to the person. So we're going to send them an email, which we can do directly from here, to see if they want to have a phone call with a salesperson. So I'm going to click on send a message, and I'm going to be sure we're sending this to Jackson. All right, and I'll say, are you available tomorrow at 10? All right, I won't be as casual as saying avail if it's for a real lead, but I'll say it like that for now. And then we can go ahead and send this directly from this page to the customer. And that email is going to be logged here. And if they reply to that email, that will also be logged through the catch-all. So we'll be able to keep track or keep record of the conversation that we're having that way. All right, so now if the potential customer, or Jackson in this case, agrees, we can schedule a meeting directly from here as well. So I'm going to go back to these smart buttons, and I'm going to click on meeting. And to create a meeting for tomorrow at 10, I can simply click on the slot, and then I'm going to change the summary. So I'm going to say phone call with Jackson. And I can leave it like that for now and come back and edit it later. I don't have to edit it at all. And if I would like to edit it, of course, let's say I want to edit it later, I just have to click. I have all the information, and then I can go to edit, and I can add a location, tags, reminders, anything that I might need. And this is also synchronized, or the calendar here also synchronizes with both Google and Outlook calendars, which is very convenient. All right, so let's go back. All right, something I didn't mention yet is that all of those tags that we selected from the form that we filled out on the website, they're all added here as well. So that's really great for the salesperson to see specifically which items that person is interested in. So we have a little bit of an idea of who they are, what they want before we even interact with them the first time, which is really cool. All right, so now after talking to Jackson and seeing that he is very interested, we're going to send him a quote after the meeting. So we can also do that right here from the CRM application. So I'm going to click on New Quotation. All right, so this is going to create, of course, a new quote. The customer is going to be Jackson. All of his information is automatically populated since I am creating this from the opportunity. And then we can go ahead and add some products. So let's add a bed frame. All right, we're going to add a mattress, a nightstand, of course, and lastly, a wardrobe, the full set here. All right, great. And we can also directly view the availability of each product. So we see that icon here. So we can directly view the availability by looking at the availability icon. And of course, I can click on the icon to have more information. So I have my forecasted stock and the stock that I have available. And I can even click on View Forecast to have more details. And I will also see if I don't have any on hand. So right here, I don't have any forecasted and I have none available. All right, so we don't have any nightstands and we don't have any wardrobes in the inventory as the icons are red. All right, so we're going to notice that right away. But we're going to take care of that in a little bit. It's not an issue for them, and we're going to see why. But first, let's finish this process. So I'm going to save this quotation. All right, and then I'm going to send it by email. So I'm going to click on Send by Email, and I'm going to have a nice email template that pops up, which I can modify right away if I would like to, or I can just send as is, which is what I'm going to do. Now, you should note that there are different ways for the customers to confirm the quotation. So they can either pay for the quotation online, which will confirm it, turning it into a sales order. They can validate the quotation with an online signature or by email. But here, let's say that Jackson called us and just say, hey, let's do it. So we're going to just go ahead and confirm it for him by clicking on the confirm button. And just like that, we have a confirmed sales order. Now, with the creation of a sales order, the sales team job ends. As Cozy Home doesn't have everything in stock, now it's the purchase department who needs to take over. They'll create the necessary purchase orders to replenish their supply because we did have a couple items that we don't have on hand. So from the inventory app, they can access the replenishment features. Let's jump to inventory. Then we're going to go to operations replenishment. All right, so now I have all of the items that I need to replenish, including the nightstand and the wardrobe that we saw on the sales order that I just created. Now, this is really convenient here from the inventory application. They can either click on order once. All right, if they don't want to keep some items on hand, or they can automate orders. So the second option enables them to make sure they always have a minimum and a maximum quantity of product in their inventory. Now, as they don't want to keep the wardrobes in stock, I'm going to go ahead and just click on order once. And I'm going to see that the purchase order was created here, so I'll have that reference. I can even click there to go do it right away, but I'm not going to do that for now. But for the nightstands, they want to always have some ready, as these do sell like hotcakes. Everybody wants a nightstand. So I'm going to go ahead and set the minimum and maximum quantity. So the minimum will be 10 and the max quantity will be 30. And then I can simply click on automate orders. All right. And again, I'm going to see the purchase order that this item is a part of. All right. So this means that Odoo will generate a request for quotation whenever the nightstand inventory goes below 10 and will order enough to have 30 in stock. Now, the purchase department has to validate the request for quotation. So let's jump to the purchase application. All right, and we have that purchase order. So I'm going to go ahead and select this. And it has both of the items that I just ordered as they have the same vendor. And it is a request for quotation rather than a confirmed purchase order. Now, to automate the orders, you will need a vendor set on the product, but we'll talk about the configuration a little bit later after the flow. All right, so here I have my purchase order. Everything looks good. I'm ready to confirm this, but actually first I want to send a confirmation request to the vendor before I actually confirm this. Now, I do see that they always deliver on time. They have a 100% on-time delivery rate, which is great. However, we can never be too sure. And as Jackson is a first-time customer, I want to be sure that he doesn't end up disappointed. So I'm going to click on Edit. And when this option is checked, I will ask for confirmation 5 days before the delivery and save. All right, and then we can go ahead and confirm the order. All right, so we've confirmed the order. Now it's time for the inventory department to take over. The department manages the reception of the products, and they have a list of products, both that need to be received and those that need to be delivered to the customers as well. So we're going to jump back to Odoo. All right, we're going to go to inventory. Now, the inventory team can manage the stock either through the barcode app, but right now, as you can see, we're going to go to inventory and manage things this way. So let's first check out the receipts. So I'm going to click on the 4 that are to process. All right, so we have different items that are ready to be received from different vendors, but we also see that we have some products ready to be received from Wood Corner. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. And let's say that the products have been delivered. So I'm going to go ahead and validate this. And that is going to make the demand quantity the done quantity if I don't manually edit the done quantity. So I'm just going to say everything we order, we'd received. So let's go ahead and click on apply. Okay, and that transfer is done. So we have received those items. And since we have received the items, the related delivery order will also be updated. So let's go back to our inventory overview. And now I'm going to go to my delivery orders to process. All right, and let's go to this one right here for our customer Jackson. All right, so now we have the demand and we see that all items have been reserved. If we didn't have those in stock, again, we would see this icon in red. So now we're good to go. We're ready to deliver these items to Jackson. So let's validate this as well. And once again, it is going to apply the reserved quantities as done quantities. So let's click on apply. All right, so that delivery is done. Now it's time for the accounting department to shine. They first have to confirm the vendor bill and pay it. So we're going to go back to the purchase application, actually. And we're going to go to the purchase order. All right, and since those items have been received, we can directly create the vendor bill from here. All right, so let's go ahead and click on Create Bill. Now, they don't have to fill in anything manually, which is really nice. They simply have to check that the amount matches between the two documents. So what we see here and what we actually received from the vendor. If the amount matches and everything's good to go, then we can confirm this vendor bill. So let's go ahead and click on confirm. And the next step, of course, is to pay the vendor. And here we can easily register the payment. There are various ways to do that. If we click on the register payment button, we can do that with wire transfer or checks. But here I'm just going to select manual. And we're going to click on create payment. It's going to have the total amount already populated there by default. So let's click on create payment. All right. And the bill is paid and ready to go. So now the only thing left to do is to invoice the customer. All right, so for that, we're actually going to jump back to the sales application. All right, we're going to go to our sales order for Jackson. All right, we see that all of the items have been delivered, and we're going to see these lines now in blue because since they've been delivered, they're ready to be invoiced. And we can invoice the customer quickly and easily right here by clicking on the Create Invoice button. However, to speed up their process, they usually like to create all of the invoices that need to be done through the sales application at once. So what we're actually going to do is click on To Invoice and go to Orders to Invoice. All right, so we're going to see that there are several orders that need to be invoiced. So we're going to select all of them, go to Action, and click on Create Invoices. All right, so I'm going to create and view the invoices. Okay, so let's select the one that we have for Jackson. All right, so I can confirm this, or the accountant can confirm this, and then we can send it to Jackson. So we can send this, we can print it and mail it to him, or we can even send it by post through Odoo by clicking this option. This is usually what Cozy Home does, as using both methods usually increases their chances of getting paid on time. But in this case, I'm just going to send by email. So let's click on send. All right. So we're going to send. We can register the payment as well. And there are various ways for Jackson to pay. And we can click on create payment. All right. And once this has been paid and all is done, the accounting department can view all of the transactions, which can be synchronized automatically into the accounting applications. Let's jump to accounting. And we can synchronize our bank's transactions by adding a bank by clicking on add a bank right here. All right, choosing your bank, adding your credentials. If you have closed this little window, you can go to configuration and you can click on add a bank account there as well. All right, you can also import your bank statements, those transactions, and then ultimately the accounting team will reconcile the items. So we can see the journal here. We see reconcile items, which I can click on. All right, and whenever the customer pays the invoice, we have those transactions in Odoo. The matching will be done automatically in the accounting app as we see right here, and the sales order will be closed once those are reconciled. So it's as easy as that. Now, you've seen the whole flow. So let's see how to configure the database in order to repeat this flow. All right, everything is managed through the product configuration and gives us the possibility to automate tasks such as replenishment. So we're going to go back to our dashboard here, and I'm going to go to one of my products. Now I'm going to my list of products through the sales application, but I can also go to the products through inventory website and so on. So let's go ahead and check out one of our KH Cozy Home products, and let's check our wardrobe, for example. Okay, I'm going to click on edit so that we see all of the options. So here we have selected storable as the product type. So we have the product type as a storable product, meaning that Cozy Home receives and delivers this item, as opposed to a service product, for example, where we would invoice based on timesheets and log time that way. All right, then we're going to go to the purchase tab. All right, we have a vendor set. As I mentioned earlier, you do need to have that vendor set in order to automate your replenishment. And on the control policy, we have the vendor bills on received quantities. All right, now this means that they are billed based on the quantities they actually receive from the vendor and not those that were just ordered. We're going to go to the sales tab, and similarly, we have the invoicing policy set to delivered quantities, meaning the system will only offer the possibility to invoice the customers once the items have actually been delivered. And that's pretty much it for the configuration. So it's pretty simple, isn't it, to go through that whole flow. There's very few things to set up, and it's all integrated and super convenient. So thank you for watching this flow. And if you're interested in learning more about the specific applications, be sure you check out our e-learning videos. Thanks, guys.